feels like you should need to step out, Julia is more than willing to assist. Our event tonight is going to be divided into 4 parts. The first thing that we're going to cover is a background of the situation. Then we're going to move into talking about why this happens, and finally, what are some of the solutions that we can offer to fixing it. And that will be followed by a Q&A. So to make sure that we can get through as many of the questions as possible, what we're asking people to do is we're going to pass around some index cards. So please write your questions, if you should have any, on those index cards, and we'll collect them at the end of the event. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce our panelists. Over here, on my right, we have Dr. Michael Kimmel. He is the director of the Center for the Study of Men and Masculinities at Stony Brook University. He's among the leading researchers and writers on men and masculinity in the world today, and author of more than 20 books in that area. Next, we have Anna Utsinger, as operations coordinator at an organization called Students Active for Ending Rape, which you may have heard of as SAFER. They work on empowering students to reform sexual assault practices, sexual assault policies, on their own campuses. Next, we have Ridolfi-Starr, a student activist who filed the Title IX complaint against Columbia University, where she co-founded an organization called No Red Tape. She's also a campaign coordinator for the organization Million 9. And finally, Farah, Tanis, the executive director and co-founder of Black Women's Blueprint. And she and her organization work heavily on ending rape and sexual assault in Black communities and on historically Black college campuses. So again, thank you for coming. We'll move now into just a couple of statistics to kind of give an overview of the situation. At first, in a given calendar year, nearly 1 in 20 U.S. college women will be the victim of a completed or attempted rape. During the course of a typical 5-year college career, that means as many as 20 to 25% can become rape victims. And this is where you may have seen the commonly cited statistic that between 1 in 4, 1 in 5 college women will become victims of rape during their time on campus. This is one of the sources from where that statistic comes. College campuses reported nearly 5,000 forcible sex offenses in 2012 across the nation. In that time, there were 365 forcible sex offenses reported by campuses in New York State, 72 of which were in New York City. And keep in mind what the implications of that are for the fact that less than 5% of completed and attempted rapes are reported to law enforcement or campus officials. So even though that's the reported number, the actual numbers of rapes that occurred would actually be much higher. So let's get the party started and ask our panelists some questions. So for all of you, we're very interested to know, why did you become involved in survivor advocacy, and what form does your advocacy take? So turn your mics on. You have the button in front of you.
Somebody started with that first.
Okay. I've always been interested in issues of bodily autonomy, whether reproductive justice or sexual assault. As a survivor of sexual violence, this is personal to me as well.